Hey everybody, how are you all doing? I hope you're all doing okay. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you're here for the first time, welcome. I wanted to do, well, the title of course already said it, but I wanted to do a VR to Miss Liz from Westar Tarot. I think it was already a month ago that she did it, but well, I suck. I don't always see these things, you know. But she was recently doing some culling of her collection, and I was really enjoying seeing her videos. She was really ruthless, very decisive, right? At least till now. I mean, I think she is still culling. I watched her latest video today. Anyway, I was scrolling a little bit down in her channel to see what else did I miss, you know, and I found that hashtag, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of fun, you know, most treasured decks, right? Because I think I do have a few. Okay, let me see. So yes, I wanted to start with, well, my very first love in that sense, you know, which is definitely a most treasured deck. I think you can already see where I'm going with this, which is my Thoth Tarot. I love Thoth. I cannot help it. It's very spiritual to me, you know. It's not just the mundane, right? It goes a lot deeper, and I do like to read that way. I have moments where I will do my morning pull, right? And that's mostly energy that I'm reading then. But yeah, when I'm really doing bigger spreads or really diving in, this is always very spiritual to me. So the Thoth, it was one of my first decks. I bought this together with an RWS. I think I told the story before. It was because, well, the RWS was recommended by the time I looked into tarot. She showed me all three, you know, the Marseille, RWS, Thoth. And then she recommended RWS. I was really trying to, well, put Thoth aside, right? And yeah, the more she did that, the more curious I got. Which led me to buy the Thoth as well. So yeah, the Thoth is absolutely one of my most treasured decks. I love it. There's nothing about this deck I don't love. So yeah, definitely a most treasured deck. What was kind of funny, and I didn't realize that until I put all these decks here next to me, you know, there are quite a few that I made myself, which is, well, kind of cool. So another most treasured deck is of course my own Alkebu-lan. I've been, like I said many times, I initially made this deck just for me, you know, and the moment I got it, it never left my desk, right? I mean, you would hope so, right? If you make a deck for yourself. I love playing with other decks, but this one is always close to me. It's always next to me. I love everything about it. So even though it's not a deck that I have as long as, for example, the Thoth, right? It's definitely my most treasured. And I also know that even if I would call everything, yeah, this would never leave, right? So yes, I love it. Definitely one of my most treasured decks. And then I was thinking, because a couple of months ago, I think I showed my my own Thoth, and this one too hasn't left. I redid some cards, you know, and even though I don't have it nearly as long as, well, any other deck in that sense, right? Maybe a little bit longer than one deck that I have here. But I love this one. Yeah, I'm enjoying it greatly. I actually made one that's more of a pocket size. I'm not a pocket size person, but it kind of has the same size as another deck I will show you after this one. So I can have also a little bit of a smaller version, because this one I cut too, and it's a little bit smaller. I think it might actually have the same size as the cut version now. Yeah, I hope to get it to the printer any day now. In all honesty, I'm not in the biggest rush because, well, I have a deck, right? But however, again, this is definitely one of my most treasured decks. Thoth, to do a Thoth deck or Thoth base deck, it's, in my opinion, not to be taken lightly. So even I, you know, after I did it, I was like, yeah, is it really a Thoth, you know? And like I said, I went over it, and whether somebody else might or might not classify it as a Thoth, you know, I do. I read this like a Thoth. It's just my Thoth, you know. So I absolutely love this deck. At this point, yeah, because I did make some changes, especially the Fool. The Fool is a big change. But yeah, no, there's nothing I want to change about this deck. Oh, let's start in here. See, this was my new Fool. I think I showed my old Fool in one of the other videos, you know. So yes, definitely one of my most treasured decks. Absolutely love it, and I know it will continue to be next to me for all the years to come. Okay, let me put this away, because like I said, I mean, I do have a bag for mine, you know, for my Alkebu-lan, but because they're always here next to me, they actually live in a little extra drawer I had, and I kind of redid it, and they're right here where I can take them. This one we already did. Okay, let me put it there. Okay, let's get one that I didn't make. The Antique Blacks, a Rootworker's Tarot by Dogon Krigga. I hope I say that correctly. I've shown this deck multiple times. Not a big fan of the box, in all honesty, but okay. This is my love. I use it in very specific ways, so it's not a deck that will come out on a daily basis, you know, in that sense. But yeah, there's nothing about this deck I don't love, and it's just as special to me than any deck I made myself, you know. When, yeah, how do you say that? Just this deck, the moment I have it in my hands, yeah, there is a vibration. There is something happening, and again, I absolutely love it. I don't know if the light will show, because the titles and the symbol, because this is then jars in the sense of cups, machetes, or arms in the sense of swords and stuff, you know, so I hope you can see that. But it's a lot of white space, and then there is collage, and again, I love everything about it. I love that it's really in the Rootworker kind of atmosphere, you know. The man at the crossroads, isn't he amazing? So yes, this deck, the Antique Blacks, a Rootworker's Tarot, yeah, absolutely one of my most treasured decks. I had it in a bag, and then I kind of felt like it wasn't protective enough, because, well, again, I'm not a fan of the box, you know. But because I was afraid that it might damage or might bend a little bit in a bag, you know, I opted to put it back here, because again, it's not a deck that I use every day. So I was like, does it really bother me? And again, it kind of bothers me because it's annoying. But yeah, I kept it in a box in the hope that it will, well, stay beautiful and long. So this one, definitely one of my most treasured decks. Another one, Dust to Onyx. I'm still hoping to get that big version, but it's especially the customs and the shipping and all of that, you know, that I'm kind of, well, delaying it for, you know. But yeah, I wish I could get the bigger one, because even though the smaller one is okay, I would love this one in a big version. But yes, Dust to Onyx. Very ancestral to me. Only use it in an ancestral way. So this one is just special. There is so much energy that I already put in there over the years, right, with my readings, that even just directly putting it in my hand from the box, you can again feel that vibration, you know. Yeah, this one is with me already for some time, and again, There is no other deck I can see that can really take this place. Even with my Alkebu-lan, I definitely do ancestral readings. But it's a different kind almost, you know. This one is really in that area. It's hard to explain. It's an energy. I think because I put so much into it, yeah, that maybe even a deck of myself cannot really take that place, right? So yes, Dust to Onyx, definitely one of my most treasured decks. It's a beauty. I love it. Let me put this away. Let's see. Okay, this one again, one I made myself. This is not my art, however. I found these pictures and I really like them, even though the deck is not super big. I think 36 cards or something. And yeah, the pictures were a little bit weird, so I made a bigger kind of, well, text. Anyway, I still love it. And yes, it's definitely one of my most treasured decks. I use it with, I will pull it out next because it's here too, with the Adinkra Oracle. Okay, let me put that out directly because that too, you know, is one of my most treasured decks. I have a copy that I showed many times that I actually printed out on my home printer. I now gave it a special place on my altar. This one was printed, well, professionally in that sense, so no staining, and I got a back and all that, you know. So, in all honesty, the one that is printed at home, mine, I actually love to put next to this. This one I put next to the Ghetto Tarot, which I also love. But for now, I didn't want to take 3 decks, you know, for the same purpose. I love to put them together. They give really beautiful readings, and the Adinkra one, I've been working with it now for many years, and I absolutely love it. The symbolism, you know, they really speak to me. The Adinkra itself, and I got multiple versions, you know, of this deck. Is all of them, but I'm just showing one. Well, I'm going to show another one, but I will explain. So yeah, the Adinkra one and this one are both, you know, definitely most treasured decks. This is like a spiritual check-in almost. It's like not a big reading, you know. Like I did one when I was feeling sick. I wanted to do a reading. I'm sorry. And I wasn't feeling 100%, you know. And sometimes it's about time, not having the time right. I love to take this and the Adinkra, just pull a card from each, and it's like this quick check-in, you know. And I love them for that. So yes, these two are definitely special to me. And then let me take the other one. Because the reason I took it out, because it's like almost a set. Okay, let me see. I kind of think like this. Yes. Because it's still the Adinkra, but I kind of made it in the coloration so that they would match. I mean, even the backs, you know. That they would be a little bit of a set, yeah, with the Kikongo symbolism. Because I've been loving my Adinkra, I wanted to try this one in my own way, which I did. And then, like I said, I kind of made them like a set, which again I like. And this is how I also use them, you know. They're the set. I pick one card from this and I pick one card from that, and then we have this beautiful cooperation. So these two also, even though they're kind of newer, well, this one is, you know, I mean, the set in itself, I've been working with Adinkras for so long now. But the Kikongo, I think, is now maybe 2 months, a little bit longer, I don't know. So even they're a little bit relatively new, right? But because this one is already such a staple in my practice, this kind of slipped in very easy, and it did exactly what I was hoping that it would do, you know. And again, I love symbols, you know, they really speak to me, they bring up a lot, and this combination is magic. It definitely is. So again, I love this. I really do. So these two, yeah, definitely a staple. Well, in my practice, but also well, the hashtag, right? My most treasured decks. This one really came up fast because it worked so well with this, you know. So I really like that. So yes, these two, like I said, I even put them together because you can see where you can split them. Yeah, love these. They will not go anywhere. Okay, let's see. This one is also a homemade. Then this is my big cat deck that I use for my practice with Sekhmet and Bastet. I tried finding a deck and it was just not really well working. So I kind of made my own. And I love everything about this. Originally it was bigger, it had black borders, and I kind of got 4 copies of this, even though when I paid for 1. But my printer was kind, you know, they sent me some extra copies. And I suddenly got the urge, you know, to chop. And I was like, but I designed the whole border thing. And I was like, well, I got 4 copies. If I really mess up one right, it ain't the end of the world. So I tried it, and well, I never looked back. I still have one of my copies that was big, you know, it's in my closet. I don't grab it, I grab this one. So yes, I didn't know if it was gonna work. I worked really long, even though I used art photography, you know, that's not mine. But I'm in these animal groups, these big cat, right? And some of these pictures, they really had this story because, well, these how would you call them, these rangers or people working in the in these areas, you know, they take pictures and they tell the story of the prides of the lions or of a family of cheetahs or whatever. So certain pictures, they really have that story for me. So even though it might not make sense to anybody else, it makes sense to me, you know. So that's kind of fun and I really love it. I mean, look at that. Ain't that amazing? So, yes. I've been really enjoying this deck. And, yeah, one of my most treasured. It came on really fast. Again, I worked on this, of course, for some time. And then when you finally have it, I even, like I said, modified a deck I made myself. And that kind of worked. I mean, look at this. Isn't this funny? So, yes. I'm really enjoying this deck and it will go nowhere. So, well, my big cat Sekhmet Bastet kind of deck, you know, yeah, definitely one of my most treasured. Okay, let's put this aside. Okay, let's get this one. Some will already recognize the outside, right? This is the Mysteries of the Black Madonna. And I'm gonna take another deck because even though they're vastly different in the way I use them, they are, well, almost both equally important, you know. Okay, yeah, this is how I use them. So I'm weird. The Weaver's Oracle and the Mysteries of the Black Madonna, they work in unison in my ancestral reading, or ancestral readings, you know, and they are definitely among my most treasured decks. They just tend to be very important to me because these are coming back every month, you know. And yeah, I've really built on this. I started with this deck and I had the Dust to Onyx, and like I said, I really started to build with this one, and then this became the set, and then the Dust to Onyx. And recently I did an animal deck, spirit guide kind of thing, So now I pull in this, my animal deck, and then I have like this plant-based deck. So I have this animal and plant kind of energy that I can, well, add to that. So like I said, I've been really building on this, you know, and well, that was kind of fun. It's still fun because I still have another idea that I want to pull in there. And like I said, even though it's a stable practice, it is a practice I can build on, right? I can add certain decks that I really want to make, that I really want them to work together in that sense. And there are times, even now, that I have it, you know, that I don't. I just keep it with these two. But do I feel the need to pull in that kind of energy? You know, I can, because, well, again, I'm building on it. So yeah, these two definitely belong under my, well, most treasured decks. Okay, let's see. Let's pull this one and this one. Yeah, because even though I got a big desk, I don't got space. There are decks everywhere. So I do want to make sure that they are put away nicely. Okay. Okay, because this is on top, let me take this, because this is new. I've shown it now a few times, but it's really new to my collection. It's the Delta Enduring. And even though I have it less than a few weeks, yeah, I had a great experience in these, especially in the first few days. And I rarely have a deck that, well, when I have the initial, well, get to know each other moment, you know what I mean? That I give them a space in my collection, right? Because most of my decks, yeah, I think most, I cannot say all maybe, but most of my decks, I'm working with for a reason, you know. So when a new deck comes in, I like to play with it, I like to get to know it, and then I'm okay, you know. I will put it where it belongs, and then it will get its time when, well, whatever practice it belongs to, right? With this one, again, I wanted to put it in its place in the closet, you know, but it was like, no. I'm not done yet. So actually, from the moment I have it, it hasn't left my table, you know. It's actually sitting next to my own decks for now, because I keep grabbing it, you know, morning, midday, evening, yeah. I keep wanting to whether play with it, read with it, just look through it, you know. And even though I cannot say for the long term yet, right, that, oh, it will be a most treasured deck forever, yeah. Even though I kind of feel like it might be, you know, because I'm really loving this. I kind of felt like I wanted to pull it in now, because even though I don't have it that long, you know, I kind of feel like it will go in this place in the long run. Okay, there's this little teeny tiny butterfly thing, because, well, it's warm here, all the windows are open. Anyway, like I said, even though I don't have it that long, I know it belongs here. I know it belongs in my most treasured decks, and that sounds maybe a little bit weird, you know, but yeah, Delta Enduring and me, we're not done yet. Yeah, we definitely have a love affair going on. So yes, again, even though it's a newer one in my collection, I think it's the last one I got, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it belongs here. It's oh, it's so beloved right now, and I think it will be forever, in all honesty. So yeah, let me put that aside. Another one, okay, this is a homemade box, because in this are two decks combined together. I think you will see from the backs. These are the soul cards, 1 and 2. And yeah, they're all mixed together. This is a deck. What's there to say? This is an amazing deck. I love everything about it. I think next to my Thoth and my RWS and stuff like that, you know, it's my oldest deck, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't think I am. I've worked with this deck for many years, yeah. next to my Thoth or separate from my Thoth, but in the sense of I've worked with this deck for a very long time, yeah, before I even knew that there was such a thing as more tarot decks. So yeah, this one is very important. It will never go anywhere. Yeah, it has something. This deck always surprises me, because in moments like this, when I look through it, I often question myself, like, but because when I just look at it, there are no hits directly. I need to look, right? The moment I do a real reading, well, real, you know, with a question or something in mind, and I pull a card, it just sings, which is so weird. I keep saying that I find it weird because, well, I keep finding it weird, you know, like, okay, I look now, yeah, nothing. But the moment I ask a question and I pull the same card, yeah, I have many things to say. So yes, I really enjoy this deck. Very important in my practice, and again, it will not go nowhere. It's definitely one of my most beloved decks, or, well, yeah, decks. There are two, right? But for me, it's one. The only reason that I know it's two, because, well, we got different back things going on, right? Or different colors. But yeah, I absolutely love my soul cards 1 and 2. And yeah, the boxes of these decks are, well, horrific, you know. So I kind of made one big box so I can put them both in there, yeah, and that works out great. Okay, let's trade. I'll put this one here. The Iyami Oracle from Sister Aminat Oladipo, if I say this correctly. I hope so. I'm sorry if I'm not sister. This deck is magnificent. Just taking it out of the box, there is this vibration, you know. Yeah, I don't think that I will ever have another Orisha deck that I love as much as I do this one. There is something about this one. I use it one card at a time. I cannot reach it now, but I think I showed it in my channel. I have this big ass book. It's big and it's thick, about the Orisha, and there was even an Iyami chapter, or in there, with some extra information. So this deck itself, it teaches me a lot about the energy of what is meant, you know. And she had kind of a series going on with Queen of Set from Oya's Girl, and I really do hope that they come back with it, because it was so interesting. She was really talking about why she made the choices in the card, you know, and I really would like to know more. I think there were three or four episodes, and again, I hope for more. I hope for more. This is a beauty of a deck. Not only is it beautiful, but there is definitely some magic vibration going on here, you know, and I love it. It's very dear to me. I treat it like it's something special, which it is, yeah. And yeah, again, I love it. I absolutely love it, and it's one of my most treasured decks. This one will not go anywhere. It's kind of funny because I remember in one of the episodes how she talked about that she had a dream about, I think, this picture in itself, because she even drew herself here, and then this was her, well, like almost spirit, you know, or her dream spirit in that sense. There's a hand here reaching out, and like I said, I love these stories, you know, about how she came to be about it. So hint hint, if anybody is listening, I would love to see more. Because yes, Iyami Oracle, definitely one of my most treasured decks. I absolutely adore this deck. And it's hard, you know, because there are many black creators that I absolutely love, and I love their decks, but it was now a little bit cutthroat, right? I will count at the end how many I ended up choosing. Okay, well, 2 or 3 more, because in one there are 2, and they can both go there, even though one is kind of newer. But let's start with this one. This is my own, my Afro Oracle, I think I call it, right? These are all different kind of art pieces of black artists, and the subject is, of course, then also melanated, you know. And When I created this, I worked very hard because again, it's just for me, right? I mean, the art is not created by me, but for me, I was looking at the art and what I was feeling or what I was seeing, right? And I wanted to pick the right keywords for it. And this deck became a powerhouse. I've done many readings with it, and there is not once that I needed to think about the answer, you know? And I love that about this one. I absolutely adore this one. So even though there are different artists in this deck, which in normal decks I don't really, well, enjoy, but I try to keep it all a little bit, well, balanced, that it kind of looked like the same, you know? So that was important. There are a few that definitely are not. They don't really feel like maybe they fit in the same way, but I still love them. This one was not clearly printed. I still want to make a new card for this, but yeah, till now it works, you know? So I don't want to, why fix when it ain't broken, right? Because it's a beautiful deck. I think this is why. This was coming out much darker than I anticipated. But yeah, at the same time, because it's working so good for me, you know, I don't want to mess it up. But yes, this deck I love. I absolutely love. There were a few times I wanted to print it and then stuff happened, you know. And it's kind of funny because it kind of, well, pissed me off in the moment, right? Like, oh, I really wanted to print my deck and I couldn't do it budget-wise, right? And it's kind of funny because every time it stopped, yeah, certain cards were being added. So it was almost like the deck knew that it wasn't done, you know? It was like, no, I'm not done. I'm not ready yet to be printed. We need to add something, you know? Which, again, was kind of funny. But yeah, this one is a beauty. I love everything about it. Yeah, it's one of my most treasured decks, for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit closer, or faster, sorry. But yes, I absolutely love this one. These are the backs. Kind of like that. So I kind of made my box to fit, you know. Yeah, because again, when you make them yourself, yeah, you're gonna need bags and boxes because, well, this one actually was made to fit perfectly. So that's good. So yes, that's my Afro Oracle. Okay, there are two decks in here. One is definitely one of my most treasured decks. The other one is kind of new, but I can see it going there. I think it's just, yeah, it's just as new as my Delta Deception because they came in together. I shipped them off to be printed together. And I love them. Okay, so let me take them out. I'm sorry, I put some stones there. And this is, of course, my Bob Marley Oracle. These were the backings, the Pan-African flag. And here we got Bob, and the key phrases are parts of his lyrics. Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, the key phrases here are parts of his lyrics. Some you might recognize, others you might not, but everything comes from his lyrics. And I love this deck. I actually made some extra cards, which again I need to put to the bring to the printer, you know, because it will. I think this was 63, and I think I got 36 extra cards, so it will become an even bigger deck, you know. I need to put them. I need to bring them to the printer. The thing is, because I have it right, it's like, yeah, it's not in a hurry. I'm not in a rush. Sorry. But yeah, I do want to do that because, again, they belong together, you know. One of my favorite pictures of him. This was the first deck I actually found a printer for that would print one deck, right? Which became now my place to go, right, for my decks. And I remember when this came in the first time, I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, professionally printed, you know. So it's gonna be good, right? Better than home printing. So I don't know what I was expecting, but when I got it, oh my god, I freaked out. I think I drove my daughter crazy, you know, because I kept saying, oh, look at my pretty deck, look at my pretty deck, look at it, it's so pretty. I think, again, I drove my daughter crazy. So, yep, I love everything about this deck. This is an amazing deck. So with this one, I kind of used my my Cannabis Oracle, which was based, I used the keywords of the Reclaim Oracle because I like the emotional spectrum, the keywords of that, you know. I didn't like the art. No offense to the creator, you know, it's just not my kind of art. And I wanted to work with it, so I used I used cannabis photography. I think I have a video somewhere of this deck, and I like to pair that one with this one. But when I did that, I was kind of missing like a tarot to go deeper, right? And I did get some major arcana ones, the Roots Reggae Tarot, again, major arcana, and another cannabis major arcana. And I enjoyed that, but I kind of felt like the major arcana also became more of an oracle, because again, you cannot really go deeper then, right? So I already found that out, but I wanted to make a Rastafarian Tarot. But I don't take that lightly, you know. I mean, Rastafarianism, it is a religion, it's a way of life, so I wanted to do that justice, right? I mean, these are the backs, the Rasta colors, right? So I did want to do that justice, and so it took a while, right? I knew that I wanted pips for the minor arcana, because I don't want to be distracted by a scene. I really want to go to the root of it, you know? And that is what I did. And now this and my cannabis are paired with this one. And again, because it's a new one, it's not a deck that I already have for such a long time, right? But I know it's gonna be one of my most treasured as well. This one really took some time because I was asking my friend was telling me, you know, he's a Rasta, yeah. And I know a lot about Rastafarianism. That's, I don't mean it in an arrogant way, you know, but I kind of grew up in that environment with friends, you know. I have an ex-boyfriend when was also a Rastafarian. So it's not that I didn't know my way around, right? It's just, again, I wanted to do that justice. So it took a little bit, but I finally now have it. And again, I love it. I love everything about it. I was worried that the pips might not be, that it might feel like lazy pips, which I didn't want. I wanted pips, but I did want some extra in there, right? And I think for myself, cannot judge for anybody else, but this is a deck for myself, right? For myself, I felt like, yep, it's right. It's actually exactly right. It's what I wanted, nothing more, nothing less, yeah, you know. And it's even better than I expected it. In it, I have some, well, reggae artists. This is an artist, Nasio Fountain. But I also have, well, for example, this, you know, which is, well, a not famous person in that sense, right? So I have a little bit of a mixture here. Queen Sheba. And then, yeah, of course, you're going to have a sort of portrait that's not a picture. So I knew that that was going to happen with this deck, and I was okay with that. Haile Selassie, of course. I mean, he's what it's all about. See, Magus is the, or the Magus is King Solomon. Again, I'm going to need something different than a picture because, well, we're not gonna get that. And then, like I said, just a normal girl, right? Not famous in that sense. So I really mixed that up, and I kind of like that. Yeah, for the devil, we have Pope Paulus the Sixth. You know, that was in the time of, I actually chose this Pope because Bob Marley performed in Italy, and I think it was his biggest concert ever, and there was a mention of that it was actually more busy at that concert than it was in Vatican City during like a lecture or something that the Pope was having. So hey, that's kind of funny. So in that sense, Bob kind of won over him, you know. So from all the popes I could choose, I was like, well, I'm gonna use this one. He won. So that's kind of funny. Anyway, like I said, even this, I'm not really a fan normally of text in a card, you know, but even here I put actually a text of a part of the lyrics of a song of Bob Marley. Give us the teachings of His Majesty, we don't want no devil's philosophy. So yeah. And Bunny, of course, Bunny cannot be not here. I love me some Bunny. Mutabaruka. So yeah, like I said, it's really a mixture, but it's an important deck to me, and I've really been enjoying working with it in these last few weeks. Even though, like I said, the Delta Enduring is really capturing my attention. At the same time, because I made this, of course, myself, the Delta Enduring I didn't, right? Yeah, this one too, it could not, it was kind of funny because I got them both, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna gravitate towards the Delta Enduring, and I'm gonna kind of what's the word, like not pay enough attention to my own deck. And it was further from the truth than I thought, you know, because I like the Delta Enduring, I love it, and I still grab this one at certain times over the Delta Enduring. So that was kind of funny to see for myself, right? That even though that was the one, right, the Delta Enduring, that was the deck that I really wanted, but because it came together with this, I was like, oh, what if I'm not paying attention to this? And I was not even worried. I was like, okay, then I'm just having this love affair with the Delta Enduring. When that part is over, I can always go back, right? But yeah, that was not happening. Here too, Marcus Garvey as Genesis, which is the Fool. You know, I kind of changed the name there, Genesis, the beginning, right? And even there, I put his quote where it all started. He said, look to Africa, where a black king shall be crowned, for the day of deliverance is near. I like that. So, yes, this is my Rastafarian Tarot. Again, Haile Selassie for the Tower. I kind of changed the background, but this drawing is of the speech he did at the UN, and he was kind of, well, almost prophetic in what he was saying, you know, which again, cool thing. Anyway, this one, yeah, I know it's gonna be one of my most treasured decks. There is nothing, again, about this deck I don't love. I even, like I said, I love my pips, you know. Again, I love everything about it. I mean, look at that card. Isn't that the most beautiful lion you've ever seen? I saw this picture, and let me see if I can still show it. Because all the celestial things I kind of kept really simple. Like moon. I think I did the star also very simple, yeah, and even the world I did very simple. But with the sun, I really wanted my lion there. And again, it's a Rastafarian Tarot, not weird to be there, right? So yeah, with this one I really followed my feeling. I didn't care too much of that everything was synchronized, because I knew I'm gonna need to work with historical pictures versus photographs, you know. I knew that it would be a mixture in that sense. Julian Marley, I'm about to see him in November. He's gonna come here in my neighborhood, well, neighborhood, you know, in the neighborhood, close by, and I cannot wait to go there. Got my tickets already. So yes. Judy Mowat, she was one of the I3s that was backup vocal for Bob Marley. Yeah, this is, well, a normal person, but I love this picture. She for me really represents that Elder of Earth kind of energy, you know. Really like that. So yes, I think I showed you now the whole deck, but this actually was the last deck, yeah, that I have here. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So yes, that were my most treasured decks. Again, I went really quickly through my collection. I might have some others that I'm sorry, that if I really give it a chance to sink in, that actually might be here. But I think, in all honesty, if I need to think about it, then, well, you might not. You know what I mean? So yes, these are definitely, for sure, 100% my most treasured decks. Even though, like I said, this one, the Delta Enduring, they're kind of new to my collection. But this one was already treasured, in all honesty, before it ever got printed, you know. This one I knew I wanted. This is why I took the time. There were moments I wanted to hurry it up because, well, again, I wanted to play it. I wanted to play with it with my, well, Bob Marley deck, right? But I was like, no. I don't want to rush this because I know it's going to be an important deck to me, you know? So I didn't, and I took my time. I think this one took over a year and a half to make, which again was fine. There were moments I kind of forgot because I was just not in the mood to make it. I needed to be in the right state of mind, right? And then I kind of totally forgot about it. It was like it dropped out of my head or something. And then there was a moment that it popped in my head again. But I kind of feel like, well, it happened the way it was meant to happen, you know? Okay, anyway, that's it. How many did I choose? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 decks. 13 decks. Well, that sounds about right. No, also those two, 13, maybe 15 decks of my most treasured decks. Yeah, again, that sounds about right? Okay. I want to thank Liz for doing this video. That was an amazing video. And also, if you happen to watch this, I cannot wait to continue to see your calling videos. I really love how decisive you are. And I love to see all your pretty decks. So that was really fun. Again, thank you for doing this great video. I really wanted to do a VR. I don't do many VRs, but this one was definitely one I really wanted to do. So thank you, Miss Liz. For the rest of you, if you haven't done this tag, maybe, well, tag along, right? I will put the original video of Miss Liz in the description below so you can see that one too. And yeah, if you do it, please tag me somewhere in it beside Miss Liz, because I would love to see your videos as well. Okay, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, you know what to do. Stay kind, stay safe, and be blessed. Okay, bye-bye.